Greetings everybody. Today I wanted to talk about how to get better within the subject matter of composition. So one of the ways that I found out that I was getting better was by refining my taste. A lot of people will talk about this, a lot of artists will talk about this when they talk about how you get better as an artist is by improving your taste. And it's something that I organically came upon myself when I noticed that I would be going through my folders of inspirational art and I would find that some of the pictures in there were no longer interesting or inspiring to me, and that was because I developed my skills more and was able to discern more. And you don't necessarily have the same skill now as that painting or that artist, but you at least can recognize that painting doesn't quite do it for me anymore, and so I need to see something that's of a higher quality. And therefore, when you're making your own art, you will be aiming at a higher quality bar. And that's one of the key things, is where is your quality bar when you're creating a painting? Because obviously if it's not particularly high, then you're not going to make particularly good artwork. And you may be looking at some of the best art in the world and you'll be thinking, well, I can't do that, but at least you'll be inspired by it and moving towards it. So with that in mind, I just this morning was going through my inspirational compositions folder, which I've got like several folders, and I'll show you them here. Killer compositions, and I have like killer lighting and killer mood and that kind of thing. And I noticed that there was one or two in there that I was like, oh, that's not very good, or not so much not very good, but like it may be good, but I want this inspirational folder to be like the best and to really inspire me and give me that wow factor. And so I thought what I would do is record it live and go through the process live with you as to when I'm looking at a piece and I'm like, maybe that doesn't belong in this folder anymore. And these can even be really good pieces. It's just that right now we're talking about composition, and another day we could talk about lighting or something like that, or design or something. But right now I'm trying to refine my sense of composition, which is something that I've been improving upon a lot lately, but it still needs to keep going further. So I'm going to start at the beginning and just work through it. This is by Chase Stone. This is an excellent piece, and it has strong composition. We have like a big shape here, and then we have the focal point here, which is on the third. I don't really need to say too much about this. It's just a great piece, but it works compositionally. This is another great piece. Sometimes I don't know who the artist is, and I've just saved the image into my composition folder. I love the way that this draws a line across here, and they've got like these nice shapes leading you through the piece. This is also nicely framed. This reads really well. That's the other thing about composition, is read. It has to be very clear. And then this guy, we kind of have the composition in this area. So that's nice, that works. We've got some thumbnails here. This is good. It's the thing about composition is it's not just about rules of thirds and things like that. It's about read. Perhaps somebody who wasn't as good as this guy, as an artist, wouldn't have framed him as well. So this is nicely framed. I'm not so sure it should go in the killer compositions, but I'll leave it for now. This is absolutely amazing as a composition. Really reads well. You got foreground, midground, background. I think this one might need to go, because I don't know though. It's this is a subtle one, because compositionally it's a little too simple. I'm not too keen on the way that there is a tangent between this guy's head and this line here. Could do with being separated out a little bit more, but we do have this nice sense of blue, which is over here, and then like cutting through and lighting this up. So I think I'll delete that one. This is really nice. So shame it's so small and I can't really zoom in. So, but yeah, this works really well because it's a portrait, which is unusual for a lot of images, at least in concept art. And we're led all the way through the piece, all the way through, and then the payoff is up here, and we've got the nice colour contrast, colour dynamics of like the warms and the cools. So that works really well. Just wish I could see it bigger. This is a really nice piece. Obviously, like, what's cool about this is if you didn't have these lines, the composition would be like half as good. Moving through the composition is always really important, as well as keeping things like fairly simple. So we straight away go to this thing, and then these lines take us through this way. So yeah, I would count this as a strong killer composition. Another one that I really like here, I remember when I first saw this, I was really impressed by how powerful it was. We led straight through the piece with these lines, all the way up to this focal point is on the third, the foreground is on the third. So we're moving through, that's good. I really love this piece. This is an old piece. I've had this for a while. Compositionally, so sometimes it's hard to discern these between, oh, I love looking at this image versus is it a strong composition. I guess we move up through here. I really like this tiny focal point up here, but it's overall it's an impactful piece. So yeah, it's tricky to sometimes tell the difference between what's an impactful piece and what has a strong composition. Maybe they're both the same thing, I'm not sure, but I'll leave this one for now. Aaron Limonic. This is a good strong piece. This is composed with light. We've got, obviously this isn't quite on the third. It's verging on central, and I think I'd hate to talk about how Aaron Limonic could improve on this piece. Perhaps I would have liked to have seen more of there's a bit here, but like a bit more of a zigzag to take us in. But this is nicely framed with the use of like this just slice of light here and the shadows, so that's what makes this piece strong. I really like this. I'm not sure who did it. I think I'd like to see a bit more breathing space down here, but I just like the way we travel all the way up. This is really strong. Nice focal point here. I'm just conscious now that I don't want to be like labouring on each piece too long, because then it becomes like a whole discussion about composition rather than just trying to improve your taste. So I'll maybe smooth through these a little bit quicker. Yeah, no, sure. This is really strong in terms of like shape. I really like how this big shape sits, and we're led up to this sort of focal area that it's easy to forget that, oh, we're looking at a ship, but the focal area is here because we've got this big area of contrast, and the head of the ship is framed by these pieces, so I like that. I really like this, it all comes together, all of these circles bring you all the way down to the focal point here. This is nice. It would be nice to have been led more into that piece. The painting is really nice and the edge work is really nice. Compositionally it's very simple, but I'll keep it in. This I really like. Our focal point is here, and there's so much complexity here that's just not busy. Like, it really ought to be busy, but you can see all of these are just patchwork shapes. Very strong piece. This is really nice. Again, we've got this kind of V thing going on, which always helps you to point you to your focal point. This is nice how we led up through here. It'd be nice to find a composition that wasn't particularly good anymore. Avatar. Concept art really strong. This is the way that she reads as a silhouette. It's really nice. And then we have this huge, I like it when there is big shape contrast. Huge shape here, tiny shape there. Similar principle here with these big shapes. Alice in Wonderland, Stephen Messing. Darek Zabrodsky. Lots of big, strong silhouettes here. Another seed messing. This is great. This is such a strong composition where we wind all the way through the piece, and then this character, the main focal point, is just so easy to read. Another messing, lots of messing, all strong. This is an extremely strong composition. I don't know who did this. There's a strange signature there. There's just nothing really that you can say about this piece that could be particularly improved upon. I mean, nothing's perfect, but this is really, really strong composition. Very long lens, which is often when I'm thinking about compositions, I'm often thinking of a really wide lens and how to use those strong angles to push you in. But this doesn't have anything pushing you in, but it just reads so clearly. It's a little bit illustrative in terms of style versus realism, but that's okay. I love how this shape, all these shapes pull you in. He's a little bit close to the top for my liking, but that's fine. Now this piece here, it's a little central. It's nice. I like the division of light to shadow, but central compositions are tricky. It's good to try to, if you can, like pull back and have something that's in the foreground to give you some sort of zigzag. There's a bit of a zigzag going on with this to this, and that's slightly higher, but they're quite wide. So this is one that I might delete out of this folder. It's reasonably, the composition is okay, but I'm not keen on these foreground elements. They're just a little bit blurry. There's a little bit of unclean edge work. Not that the piece isn't good, but I'm looking for something more than that, so I'm going to delete that. This is super strong. Who did this? Can't read the signature. A lot of this I'll find on Facebook, and so the file name doesn't even tell you who it is. Super strong piece, reads silhouette nicely over the light, dark on light. Very long lens. I'm not so sure if it's very graphic. It's got a graphic read. But I might just delete that because it doesn't really. I don't really use that kind of composition myself. This is a piece by my friend Quentin, and it's a super strong piece. The way that this silhouette reads here, and even this little cloud here gives him some separation. And this bit of cloud here makes him read, and then we travel all the way up through the piece. This is possibly my favourite piece by Quentin. This was a piece that I downloaded today, actually, but I can't remember the name of the person who did it. Extremely strong composition, really just hit you over the head. You go straight in. It's like you're flying into the piece, and this is the kind of work that I want to try and. It's the kind of like composition I want to try and achieve in my work. It's also got good paint work as well. Even the paint strokes here, pushing you in. This piece, strong. So this is a piece that I'm probably going to delete. We've got an equal. This is like these silhouettes here in the foreground are like very equally balanced, which isn't good because we're sort of forced in through the middle, but then the focal point is like not on a third, and the shape language of these rocks is wanting to send you off that way, but there's nothing to bring you back. So I'm going to remove that one. But interesting to note that once upon a time I added it into this folder. Super strong. What I'm starting to love about the more, I guess it's more recent compositions that I'm seeing over the last year or two. It's really dynamic stuff. Huge foreground shapes that aren't like necessarily relevant to the story, but they frame it so well. It's just amazing. This is another piece that I am going to delete, although it's nice and I like the piece and it's got good mood. It just isn't particularly strong because it's so wide. What you notice is if you have a super wide aspect, you miss out on the opportunity for, like, there's only this much space to pull you into the composition, and you've really got to be, I mean, we sort of go there with the foreground light, but the sky could do with enhancing things a little bit. It's quite simple, so I'm going to delete that one. Now this piece, I might just delete this. If that palm tree was not there, we could have the sun, and then this line here needs to be broken because it's currently just taking you out. So if that palm tree wasn't there, it's a good piece though. I really like the lighting. And this is an awesome piece, really strong. The design of this boat is it's like funny because the design is helping the composition. It goes, we travel up and we travel in. If it wasn't for that, we'd maybe want to travel out that way. It goes in, and then it goes down. Really awesome. This is so strong. I love this piece. Like we're pushed in, and I can't even fully tell why. I mean, maybe it's because of this hierarchy of him, and then this guy, these lines pull you in, but for some reason the energy takes you right in, and the values are also helping. The values read really well. I mean, look how busy it is, but it's not noisy. That's something that I would struggle with in a piece like this, is having all of this information being nicely grouped. Love this piece. This piece I am going to delete. It's not a bad piece, but you know, we go down through the stairs through there, but it's not really, there's not really much of a payoff. So I'm going to remove this one. Always strong. This one. I'm going to delete this one because I'm not too keen on. There's like a bit of noise going on. Like I'm taken up here. This is extremely bright. Quite like these shapes, but we're sort of going this way. I'm not sure of our focal point because we're then taken up here. Oh, this is good. This is nice. It looks quite 3D-ish with a bit of paint. Love it. All these are just really good, so I'm just not saying anything about them. I love this piece. Grzegorz Rutalski. This piece I might just delete. I like it, but really it's not doing too much in terms of moving into the piece, which is what I'm looking for. I want some dynamic movement. It's a great piece though. This piece I'm going to delete. It's fairly dynamic, but moving down through the piece. But why? I'm not really sort of there's a real sort of desire to sort of go down there and see what's at the end. If there was like perhaps something going on here, but compared to some of the others, it shouldn't really be in the folder. Really strong. In. Looking up. We go up. Nice. Very simple and graphic read. Very different composition. Again, like one or two of these are just purely graphic. This is like graphic design. So it works if you're going to do a piece like that. I rarely do. But I'll keep this because I quite like the mood. Nice, we go down into there. Nice big soft shadows. Well, some hard shadows, but the lighting is soft. And the boat pointers in. One of my favourite pieces of all time by Gillet. I don't want to butcher his name. Assassin's Creed Unity, I think. This is a good painting, obviously, but and it's probably like a background piece. I might delete this not because it's a bad painting or anything like that, or the composition sucks or anything, but it doesn't. It's not really useful for me in this folder, I don't think. Great piece. I like this piece, but I'm going to delete it because, again, it's nice design, everything like that. But it's not really a strong, like, super composition. But I do like looking at it. It is fun to look at. Again, a graphic piece. I'm not sure. Some of these are just. I think I'm going to delete that because it's not really. Again, it's graphic, but it doesn't do much as a scene. I'm looking for a good environment scenes like this. This is nice. It's crazy how it's really hard to organize a scene like this and have it be nice compositionally. Great piece. Great piece. Yep. These are all working. Another one that I'm going to delete because I am not keen on this water here. I think James Pake did this. This is probably old because it says Pake on it. Yeah, again, like I hate to. I'm not trying to be critical of other people's artwork, but compositionally it works. It points you towards there, but. I'm not really getting too much of a payoff here. So again, this is tricky call. Don't want to say anything bad about somebody's art or anything like that. I'm just saying that what I want in this folder is something a little bit different. Another James Pake piece, and this is really nice. I'm going to delete this just because I probably put this in here a long time ago. Just planet. I mean, I like this big shape, but we've since seen slightly more interesting stuff from Paul Shadowsong. So here's another piece that I will delete. Compositionally, it's not too bad, but it's just not there for me. We've got this bright light over here, and I'm not quite sure why. And then for some reason this color of this rock is red, which I thought it was a character, and so I'm wondering why to go over there. So I'm going to delete that one. And there we have it. I think this is the last piece. I really like. I was looking at this recently, actually. This is a really nice hierarchy. You have these foreground silhouettes. It all reads really well. There's a lot of complexity, but it just reads nicely. And then we travel through the piece, and that's what I'm looking for this folder. It's something where you really travel through the piece, and which is why I've deleted some of the pieces that, while they're good, they sort of lack that. Maybe they were quicker paintings or something like that. So I hope that shed some light on the process of what it means to improve your artistic eye. For me, for years, the big question was like, just how do you get better? It's a weird thing because you just paint every day and you fail every day, and you just want to know, well, how do I actually get better? There's very many ways in which you get better through certain kinds of study, but the main thing is when you're making a painting, where is your standard? What standard are you holding yourself to? And I can see in my own painting, as I'm even down to the little strokes that I'm making, this little voice saying no, not good enough, and it's because of all of the imagery that we've seen and digested, and after a while you'll have made the same shapes and brushstrokes before that haven't worked, and you'll have in your mind a certain standard of, well, this artist did things this way. Also, when you're making a fresh piece, you should really be going into this kind of folder and like saying, well, I want to make my composition strong. What are some of the subject matters that align with what I'm doing, or that have done really strong compositions, and then hold them next to yours and look at what they're doing, and take little cues from them. It is interesting to note, like, if you've got a folder that's particularly old that hasn't been sorted in a while, in a good few years, you'll find work in there that you'll be wondering why you put it in, and that is a good sign, because at some point you looked at that piece and you're like, that's amazing, I'll never be able to do something like that, and you put it in your folder, and maybe now you can do something that's better than that. And that's a real moment to like take stock and look back on, and to see where you've come, and then to project into the future. Anyway, I didn't want to make this video too long, but it kind of has, and I usually ramble on a bit, but I hope that you got something from that. The basic principle could probably be stated in a minute, but I just wanted to go through the process live and just share some of my thoughts and ramblings. Let me know what you think in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.